Hello. Today we're going to talk about the turning point for Black and Brown sisters. All right. So, if we want to be healthy, we need to eat real foods. Okay. And when I say real foods, I'm talking about not artificial. I'm talking about food that's going to feed us, food that's going to give us nutrition, nutrients. Okay. And don't get me wrong, it is not easy, but it's doable. Together, we can do this. All right, so if this topic piques your interest, subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, and set your notifications to all so you don't miss my next video. All right, so when we make a decision to start doing better with our health, to start taking back our health into our own hands, we're going to have competition. All right? Sisters, we are going to have competition. You know what competition is? Billions of dollars spent every day to entice us not to be healthy. And this billions of dollars is in commercials and television. It's in the colorful packaging when you go to the supermarket. All right. It's on the radio. You may be listening to Pandora or whatever you listen to, there's going to be a commercial on food. So there's so much put into distracting us or enticing us not to be healthy. Now you may ask yourself the question, who is the competition? Well, let me be the first to say, politicians. They are the ones at the top that say, okay, vote for me, and I'm going to bring forth this change. And they campaign, and in the end, nothing changes. The next culprit is the food industry. And these two, politicians and the food industry, go hand in hand because the politicians are there to right the wrongs of the food industry. So because you can pay somebody off, you can put stuff in the food that's unhealthy and get it to be right because you have the big dough. The next culprit is big pharma. Now, because of society has kind of groomed us to want stuff right away, give it to me now, microwave society, I want it fast. We've gotten to a point where we don't want to wait for healing. We don't want to wait. We don't want to bear any pain. We just want it now. And therefore, big pharma to the rescue. Whether it's the pink pill or the blue pill, there's always a pill for something. Whatever complaints you have, there's a pill for it. And in the process, there is a side effect or two or three. And sometimes the side effects are more detrimental to our health than whatever the complaint was. And finally, the medical profession. All right. And you may ask yourself the question, the medical profession? Yes, the medical profession. And do not get me wrong, I have a primary care physician. All right, I've always had one. Our doctors have their places to help us to diagnose what's going on. But don't leave everything up to your doctor. Recently, I would say maybe about 6 months ago, 6 months to a year, sometime about that, I don't even keep track of that, I started seeing a new physician. After the COVID and everything, I hadn't gone for a couple of years. So started seeing a new physician. And from the get-go, I let her know what my stance was. I'm a health coach. I'm into fitness. I'm into herbs. I'm into natural. So don't even ask me what my pharmacy is because I'm not going to pick up a prescription, okay? Now, if I'm in a situation where I do need it, it's a life and death situation, I'm going to take it. And if you need medication, this video is not telling you not to take medication. Work with your doctor and know what your plans are, what your intentions are. If you have to take your medicine, take your medicine. What my video is speaking specifically to sisters 40 and older. If you are in good health and you want to maintain the good health, if you see the signs that, something could be happening and you want to start take charge, this video is for you. All right. I'm not a clinician. I do not write prescriptions. I work alongside your medical professional to help you bring to pass whatever the new lifestyle. Just say, for example, the physician say, okay, this is what's going on based on these tests. You're going to have to make some changes in your diet. You're going to need to add exercise. You're going to need to change the way you eat. That's where I come along as a health coach. All right. Well, when I say the medical profession, I mean that they're doctors who, as soon as you go in, the first thing they ask you is, what's the nearest pharmacy? And they're quick to push, medication to you. All right. And all of these have a vested interest in making money, not on protecting our health. So that is why we're in this fight. That is why I've started this revolution where we are going to take back our own health. We can't leave it up to the people that we trust. We can no longer listen to the things that they say. We're going to have to take things into our own hands, okay? Now, why? Why is all of this being done? In one way or another, almost all of the powers that be that we would expect to support our quest in health, they're all out there. And the support that we expect from them has been contaminated. And what's the culprit? The mighty dollar. So because of this mighty dollar, or what you say, financial gain, our health is no longer their priority. Okay? So let's take retrospect here. Being sick and overweight keeps corporate profits healthy. When you and I are sick, we are overweight, it's a cycle. You eat the bad food, you get sick, you go to the doctor, you take the pill, you go to the emergency room or the hospital, and the cycle just keeps on going over and over. Now, what are we going to do about this? We have an opportunity to do something about this, all right? Hello and welcome. My name is Althea Weller. I'm a mother. I'm a wife, a certified integrative health coach. I'm a skincare alchemist and exercise enthusiast. Now, the goal of my channel is to help us Black and Brown sisters heal ourselves. And what do you mean by healing ourselves? I mean by taking our health into our own hands. All right. Now, I love quotes. And so today's quote, I feel, is going to bring everything into perspective. This quote is by Nelson Mandela, and it says that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change your world. And that is what I'm out to do in these series of videos. I'm out to educate you so that you can make the decision that is going to be better for you and your family. All right. For the most part, us as mothers, wives, sisters, we are the ones that do the grocery shopping. Okay. We're the ones that plan the meals. We're the one that's in charge of taking care of the home, what movies we watch, where we go on vacation, all of those things. We're the ones that vote with our dollar. And later on, I'll tell you how to vote, okay? Vote with your dollar. We have in our hands the ability to make the choices that would benefit us as opposed to the other way around. All right. So today, we're taking our health into our own hands, and I'm going to preach it over and over and over. We are taking our health into our own hands. We are not depending on somebody else to tell us what to do. All right. Now, the video is entitled The Turning Point for Black and Brown Sisters. This is a turning point. This is a point where, sometimes they say you hit rock bottom. You got to a place where you realize that, you know what, this is not what's going to take me out. I'm going to have to do something to make this change. Now, whether you went and you saw a doctor or not, in ourselves, we can tell that something is not right. We can tell that this is not how I like to feel. All right, so we're going to talk about some culprits. And I'm going to call these culprits nutrition or non-food nutrition. All right, because when I talk about nutrition, I'm not talking about food in this for this purposes of this video. We're not talking about food. We're talking about external stimuluses or food nutrition that feeds us negatively. So you may ask yourself a question, what do you mean food but non-food? So whatever feeds you is nutrition. So if it feeds you, it's nutrition. It doesn't have to be something that goes into your mouth, but because it feeds you, it is nutrition. So we're talking about the external stimuluses, and I'm going to name 4 and how they affect you negatively. Now, depending on how you look at things, some of these things could influence us positively, but for the purposes of this video, I'm talking about how they affect us negatively. First, there's the news, okay? There's the news, there's the newspaper. We get up in the morning, we turn on the TV, we get a newspaper, and we inundate ourselves with negativity. We inundate ourselves with vibes that just pull us down and draw our energy. Now, I'm not saying not read newspaper or not watch the news, but what I'm saying is that put it off to the middle of the day or the end of the day if you can bear to wait that long, because we all need to be up on our current events, and I understand that, but don't let it rule you and define you. Make that choice that, okay, I want to know what's going on in my society, but I'm not going to let that be the first thing that I do. All right. So that's one of the things, that's the first external stimulus or non-food nutrition that influences us negatively. Number 2 is entertainment. Now, entertainment is big, but I'm specifically zeroing on our Black and brown sisters that have been used as pawns to influence us negatively. Now, what I'm seeing nowadays is that if you don't go on TikTok and shake your behind, you're not viewed as anything. Now, the people that they're using, the pawns, our own Black and brown sisters that they're using to influence us negatively in their own lives, the things that they're doing on stage, they don't live that way. It's just something to tear us down as a people, because we are the mothers of our society, of our nation. So that is tearing us down. Now, you have your favorite people you listen to, and I'm not telling you to listen to, but what I'm saying, look at what's coming at you and decide, is that what you want for yourself and your daughter? Is that what you want to influence you? Is that something that you feel comfortable sitting and listening to? How does it make you feel? Do you think that you'll ever be like those people? Because what they're using is money and fame. And most of us will never be like those people. We are going to, after we don't spend our money to go to their concerts or whatever else is going on, we are still in the position that we're in. Nothing changed. All right, the next culprit is social media. Number three on the list is social media. So social media is there, and it can be positive. You can see friends and family that you haven't seen for a long time. You share pictures, share recipes, whatever. But when it gets to the point where a lot of people go in there and they share the glam and the glitter and the things that you feel depressed about because you don't have, because you can't live like the Joneses. Now you feel depressed, you feel disgusted. You spend hours and hours and hours looking at other people's videos. And not only have you made your day non-productive, you have stressed yourself out over things that sometimes is not even real, it's artificial, because most people are not going to go on social media and put their worst foot forward. They're going to put their best foot forward. So it's not, most of these stimuluses are artificial. So we cannot allow these things to suck us in, okay? Give yourself a limit. I'm going to be on social media 15 minutes a day, or whatever your limit is. and you see your friends or you say hello or whatever, but don't let it control you. All right. The third thing, number 4 stimulus, non-food nutrition that feeds us is television. Now, I haven't watched television for about seven to 10 years. And I have a television, but I stream, like if I want to. So this is how I take control. If I want to watch a movie, I stream it. I do not like to sit and watch commercial. What I would do back in the days when I did have a television, once the commercial comes on, I get up with a load of dishes in the dishwasher, or put a load in the laundry, or fold up some clothes or something. It's like to me, it was just a waste of my time, because it is there to program you to, okay, go, next time you go to the grocery store, go and buy this product or that product. And that's not going to influence me. I'm not going to buy it. So why even sit and watch it? It's a waste of my time. So I stopped watching television. I just go ahead and stream when I want some form of, watching a movie or some form of entertainment. Now, for us as mothers, especially younger mothers, if you are putting your children before the television while you do your chores and 4, 5, 6 hours pass and your children are still in front of the television, that is a problem, because you're allowing an outside stimulus, a negative stimulus, to influence your child, to tell your child what he or she should be, who they should be, what they should do. And mothers, it's in our hands. We are the ones that we should teach them what they need to do. Find other ways. There's the outside to play. There's exercise. There's reading a book. There's a board game. Make the television limited. And when you do watch it, make sure that you realize that this is there to program you. And so you're going to decide what you're going to allow to influence you. All right. So those are our those are the 4 non-food nutrition that feeds us negatively. Now we're going to talk about the 4, not the 4, but 4 positive non-food nutrition that feeds us. And like in the first set, these could feed you negatively, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on how they feed us positively. So I'm going to coin them primary foods. And they're primary because they're more important than the broccoli, the cauliflower, the exercise. These are more important. These are primary. Food, physical food that you eat, is secondary. So these are the primary foods. So the first one, number 1, that feeds us is relationships. We all need relationships. We are not meant to be loners. We're not meant to be there on our own. We need people in our lives, okay? So start thinking of what you need to feed you. Start thinking of what's important to you, and start looking for those people, whether it's a cousin, it's an aunt, a sister, brother, a husband, a wife, not a wife, but a husband, those people, a friend, a colleague, somebody that you both have the same mindsets. You're trying to get to the same destination. Let that person influence you positively. All right. Find that one person or 2 or a group or a community where you can be and you can feel, when you leave, you feel refreshed, you feel fulfilled, you don't feel drained. And the same thing goes for our close relationships. If you're in a relationship and that relationship is draining you and you're always fussing and fighting, it's time to do something about it. It doesn't make sense to sit, go see a therapist, talk to your counselor or whoever you need to, but we need to start healing our relationships so that we can feel better, we can be healthier. Because like I say, the broccoli, then the cauliflower, then the exercise is not going to do you any good if you are stressed out because you're in a bad relationship. All right. Number two primary food that feeds us is our spirituality. Now, we are trifold beings, spirit, soul, and body. But let me not say most, a lot of us don't give any time to the spiritual part of us. And so it's dead. It's withered. It's not flourishing. So many of us grew up in the Bible, or as we got older, we found, different spiritual path that we take. That's not my arena to tell you what to follow, but what I can suggest is find a way, whether it is yoga, whether it is meditation, whether it is reading the word, and after you read it, you meditate on it, whatever, do something to build your spirit, man, because your spirit is that other part of you. Just like how you feed yourself with physical food, you also need to feed your spirit so you can be balanced. Because many of us are off kilter. We're not balanced because we're not feeding this part of us. So it's important. And later on, we'll go into this into more detail. This is just an introduction. All right, number three, non-food stimulus that feeds us positively is our physical activity. Our bodies were not meant to sit. All right? It's a cycle. You eat, you move, you release. So if you eat and you don't move, it sits. You know what I'm talking about. We need to move so that we can get waste out of our bodies. If we never move, it sits there. And next thing you know, you have this complaint and that complaint. We need to move because you are going to feel so much better. You're going to, in most cases, when we start exercising, we don't need as much medicine. So I'm not saying go to cold turkey right now, but what I'm saying is take our health into our own hands. And when we do that, we find that some of the things that we've been dependent on, we can start getting off of. Now, when I get into physical activity on a deeper level, I'm going to put together something where we can exercise together. I'm still trying to work out the details where we can come together twice. I'm thinking Tuesday, Thursday. So if you're watching, stay tuned. We're going to do our exercises together. I don't know if I can simulcast it or I can send you a video or whatever I'm going to do, but we're going to do something. Because I know that many times when we're told exercise, we start, but we lack motivation. So we need a community to help us to get to that place. All right. Now, number four, that stimulus, non-food stimulus that feeds us positively, or should I say primary food, is our careers. Number four, careers. Many of us spend more time in our jobs or careers than we do with our families. So if your career it sucks. You drive up to the job and you sit in your car and play some upbeat music to get yourself pumped up before you're going, get out of that job. You need to like what you do, or maybe change perspective. The job that you're doing, are you servicing someone? Can you feel good about that? Are you helping to make society better? Can you tune out the negativity that's happening from the people on the job and start focusing more on what you're doing? Can you do that? Or if you can, no matter what you do, it just sucks. It's just all negative. It drains you. At the end of the day, you can't wait to get out of there. Something needs to be done. All right. We need to do things that we like, things that are going to help us to feel better about ourselves. All right. Now, what are your thoughts on this topic? Leave a comment. Talk to me. Tell me how you deal with your relationships. Tell me what kind of spiritual practice you have. What are your spiritual, what's your physical activity routine? Do you like your current career or your current job? Are you allowing the news or entertainment or social media or television to dictate or define who you are? Tell me in the comments. Leave something in the comments that I can know. All right. Now, In closing, I want to reiterate the fact that if this topic spoke to you, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, turn on your notifications and set it to all so you don't miss my next video. All right. And sisters, if we can devote a small amount of time now to understand our optimal personal nutrition, this will result in a healthier, happier future. All right. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Stay tuned. I'm your health coach, Althea Weller, and together we're going to take our health back.